You know, folks, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but after watching Donald Trump's event at Madison Square Garden, I just have a lot of questions. Who booked that? Like, who really sat down and booked that and thought that that would be a good idea? Because every speaker that came out just went over the top and went out of their way to prove the Democrats' point on this entire time, which was this sure does mirror the 1939 Nazi rally of Madison Square Garden. You would think that they would want to find a way to prove all of us wrong, but yet everybody that went out there just proved everything we've been saying to be true. And I'm going to start right here with this clip of Tony Hinchcliffe, or Hitchcliffe, or however the hell you say his name. I don't care. Don't respect him enough to even pronounce it correctly. Who booked this shit?
People, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
That right there proves that Donald Trump will literally hand the microphone to anybody. Anybody that will speak on his behalf, as long as they'll sing his praises. He does not care what they say. But don't you think somebody in his campaign would have been like, hey, this isn't a good idea? We're very close to the election, and we don't need to give the Democrats fuel. We don't need to give them talking points that they can use. We don't need Kamala Harris. We don't need to hand her material that she can use to show us for the racist assholes that we really are. You would think they would pump the brakes, but no, old Tony don't pump the brakes. Tony keeps going, and he may have just put the final nail in Maga's coffin. Take a look.
Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
Now, I know there will be a lot of people out there who's going to try to write this off as comedy. And that truly offends me, because I've always been a fan of stand-up comedy. And I've always been a fan of comedians that push the boundaries. But what people need to understand is there's a big difference between pushing the boundaries in comedy and saying controversial things, and then using comedy as a platform for your hatred. There's a big difference. And I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to bring these tweets up on the screen, and I've decided not to, because I don't want to read them and I don't want to trigger anyone out there. But if anyone would like to read Tony Hinchcliffe's history of his tweets that he's made over the years with racist comments, go to MidasNews.com, and the article is on there where they backlog all the tweets and all the stand-up and all the posts that he's made over the years that has been over the top like that. But wouldn't you think that Donald Trump's campaign will be sitting back going, oh, no, surely he didn't say that. He's just destroyed it. But they just kept letting people come out there. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the more I see it, I'm like, are you guys just trying to throw the fight here? I mean, we're over here saying that it mirrors a Nazi rally. You got every opportunity here to come out and prove us wrong and say, hey, no, this is an event of us trying to bring everybody together. But this guy here says flat out that, yeah, he's speaking at a Nazi rally. Take a look.
I get back and they go, Sid, you want to speak at this MSG thing? I go, sure. Out of character for me to speak at a Nazi rally. I was just in Israel, but I took the gig.
Now, I realize that I don't know the subscribers here on my channel individually. I don't know who the 330,000 people are that watches me every day. But I have a feeling that if we all went to an event where Kamala Harris was going to be speaking, we wouldn't let someone get up and joke about us being Nazis. We wouldn't laugh at that. We wouldn't cheer that. We wouldn't find that funny. We wouldn't find that acceptable. It's truly disgusting that he could say something like that and then the crowd still cheered. They didn't get offended at him saying that. And yeah, they're just letting anyone speak. They'll give the microphone to anyone. They keep telling us to turn down the temperature in the room, but this guy right here cranks it up again.
She is some sick bastard, that Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a bitch. The whole fucking party, a bunch of degenerates, lowlives, Jew haters, and lowlives. Every one of them. Every one of them.
So yeah, that's what MAGA thinks is acceptable. They will stand there and they will cheer for that type of rhetoric. And we can't do this video without showing you this over-the-top clip from Tucker Carlson, who I swear just looks to me like he's completely about to tweak out. Take a look.
It's going to be pretty tough for them 10 days from now to look in the eye to America with a straight face. It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what, Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president, it was just a groundswell of popular support.
So we said that him doing an event in Madison Square Garden would be like the Nazis in 1939, and he had an opportunity to prove us wrong, but he didn't. Instead, they doubled down. Hell, they quadrupled down on their hate, their cruelty, and their racism, and they just went for it this close to an election. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, folks. I'm really not, but did somebody orchestrate this event to bury Donald Trump once and for all? Because it doesn't make sense. There's no world in which it makes sense from a campaign strategy. It's not, because anyone else would be trying to bring people together. Anyone else would be trying to prove that they weren't what we've been saying they were. Anyone else would really go for a moment of unity and bringing this country together and talking good about this country and welcoming people in. And they just went the exact opposite way. And it's like, did somebody try to throw the fight here? Is this like Sonny Liston taking a dive to Ali? What's going on here? Because this just does not add up at all. That's one of the craziest rallies, and I could sit here and go into more of it. I could show you Hulk Hogan coming out, but I can't stand Hulk Hogan, okay? I have always been a Roddy Piper fan my entire life. I was rooting against Hogan at the first WrestleMania. I cried when he slammed Andre the Giant, not because I was happy, but because I wanted to see Andre crush Hulkamania. I didn't even like him in the NWO, okay? I've never been a fan of the guy, so if you guys want to see him rip his shirt off and do his stupid WWE act in Madison Square Garden, brother, go for it. But I don't want to put you through it. I love you guys. I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. I don't want to put you through anymore today, but folks, why in the world would Donald Trump think this was a good idea, and why was his campaign think it's a good idea to put him out there and just go full-blown hate, just go full-blown racist over the top with it? In what world does that make sense as a strategy?